Hi, my name is Chris Hodges. I've spent the last 30 years as a corporate executive and a management consultant, working with a lot of really motivated, together professional people. And what I've found universally is that business development and the ability to reach out and connect with your clients is the universal that everyone wants to know. Lots of different trainings and things that I've been involved in. Then I met Henry DeVries. And it just so happens Henry DeVries has just published one of, I can't even count the number of books Henry has written. However, the most recent one, Rainmaker Confidential, is what we're talking about today. So let me introduce Henry DeVries, who is the CEO of Indy Books International and the co-author of Rainmaker Confidential. I thought we could talk about his book today and how it could help anyone in my network to grow their business. Hello, Henry. Good to see you.
Christopher, thank you so much for inviting me to talk about Rainmaker Confidential, how top professionals are investing their time, talent, and treasure.
That's exactly what most people in my network care the most about. So as a consultant, I think in this structure, Henry, so I thought we could first talk, maybe you could tell us what you see the situation is out there for smart professionals, but with respect to making rain.
Well, let's go back to a very scary time, Friday the 13th. Friday, March 13th, 2020, to be exact. For professionals, everything was going so well. And then we go into lockdown and pandemic, and we're out of our offices and we're off of airplanes and we're into our home. And people were scared. How were they going to make a living? How were they going to find clients? I decided to do a research study where I would interview the top professionals and find out what were they doing to make it rain when the old ways weren't working anymore. There weren't networking events to go to. So what were they doing? What were they investing more money into? What were they cutting back on? And what became their go-to strategy during lockdown and beyond?
So this was the creative destruction of COVID, which turned into the positive business development. And now we've got a little bit of time, right? So you got some history of what people have found works and doesn't work.
The main thing we found that works is something we call the Trojan Horse strategy.
Nice horse, by the way, Henry.
Thank you. So the Trojan Horse strategy is giving a gift. As you know, from the Greek and Trojan War stories, the Greeks did a fake out play on the Trojans. They sailed away in their ships and left a big wooden horse as a gift to the gods of Troy. And so Troy wheeled the gift into the walled city. And while they slept, the Greek soldiers came out and opened up the gates. And the fake fleet, they came on back. Well, the Trojan horse for a professional is give before you get. Bob Sure of the the one-page business plan. I interviewed him, and he wanted to get clients in the medium business range, 30 to 500 million. So what did he do? He interviewed 110 of those CEOs, promised to give them the advanced results of the study. He told all those CEOs how they compared to their peers, very valuable information. He wrote it up in a book. Now he's speaking and talking about the book. But along the way, several of the CEOs hired him for 5-figure contracts because they were interested in him and what they were doing. So first he gave to get.
Well, I love the Trojan horse idea. Of course, they overthrew the city. In your case, they're going to overthrow failure or overthrow stalled sales or overthrow stagnation. It's all a positive ending. That's super. So Trojan horse strategy, I think everyone can remember that and embrace that. If you had a limited amount of time and you said, oh no, I need something really quick, any other couple of tips you think would be good for most professionals to use?
Christopher, we live in emotional times. And to get better at business development, you need to be an emotional storyteller. I don't mean you're sobbing and weeping. Research from neurosciences prove that prospects make decisions not based on logic, but based on emotion. So how do we tap into the emotional part of the brain? We need to have a quiver of arrows. We need to have stories we can tell about how we took similar prospects to them from distress to success. We took them from the problem to the solution. And stories reach the emotional part of the brain. So the first thing to do is get better as a storyteller.
That is an important point because, as you know, most consultants show up with a PowerPoint deck with 5 pages in the back of them that say a bunch of boring credentials, no emotion, no connection, might be a lot of credibility, but not very compelling. I wish you, where were you 10 years ago in my life, Henry? I could have used that when I was sitting down with all these clients. That's fantastic. So we got the Trojan horse, we got the telling stories. If we had to do one more, how about a don't? How about a what should people not do? And that'll give them kind of a taste of what is in Rainmaker Confidential.
Well, the basic thing not to do is make cold calls. You hate them, they hate them. Nothing says trust me like a cold call. So you don't want to do that. Something better is to offer valuable information. So the call could be, do they want to attend a free webinar? Do they want a white paper? Do they want some helpful information? You prove that you care by offering helpful information. And that might be in a $20 book. It might be in a low-cost seminar. It might be in a free briefing. That builds a bridge of trust between you and the prospect. But the don't is, don't just show up and throw up. Don't just say, hi, do you want to buy a consulting project? That doesn't work.
That will make everyone feel better because we all know the joys of cold calling. Okay, so we got 3 points and we'll make this short for everybody to kind of consume it the way things go today. But I just wanted to say, Henry DeVries, thank you for talking to me today. I don't run a giant media campaign, but I certainly have worked with a lot of very, very smart people over the years, and we can all get smarter and better. So Rainmaker Confidential is one book, but I know you also do a weekly podcast that people can check into to get some tips from you. Where would they find you on that?
Thank you. They can find the Marketing with a Book podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. We do a weekly best practices, how to. We get experts on to help professionals with their business development. I also write a weekly column for Forbes.com on business development, so they can check me out on the web for ideas there.
That's absolutely fantastic. And I know, Henry, I have joined several of your podcasts and listened to some unbelievably good insights. It's great that you're bringing all those people together. Well, look, anybody who's in my network, please send me links like this as well. I would love to have valuable contacts like this. Henry has connected me to a long list of very valuable people, starting, by the way, with Henry. So Henry DeVries, thank you very much for talking to us a little bit about Rainmaker Confidential.
Thank you so much for shining a spotlight on my work.
Happy to.